Why is everyone being so serious? Like, seriously. Like, when we were kids, we used sticks as lightsabers. We used dirt for recipes. We created whole universes in our backyard. Like, now, if the Wi-Fi goes off for 6 minutes, we're all in a panic. Like, what happened? Because somewhere between childhood and adulthood, most of us disconnected. We disconnected from our creativity and our emotional awareness and imagination, our freedom, our alignment, and honestly, ourselves. And working with children every day made me realize something. Children understand energy. They understand presence and authenticity in ways that adults had to relearn. So this series, this is all about returning to your original frequency. Dude, it is a vibe here, man. It's a total vibe. Check your energy first. Hey guys, I'm Maya Lee, your certified spiritual life coach and a director/educator in early child care. And working with children constantly has completely changed my view of energy, healing, and spiritual alignment. Because children naturally understand what adults had to relearn. Presence, joy, curiosity, emotional honesty. And honestly, I don't think children are disconnected from energy and frequency the way adults are. I mean, I think adults were conditioned to stop listening. So in this series, we're diving into childhood conditioning, emotional frequency, spiritual disconnection, inner child healing, and returning to who you were before the programming. And trust me, this series is going to feel less like a lecture and more like returning to something that your spirit already knew. One thing I've noticed about children, they feel everything. They can pick up on everything. Babies can't even talk yet. You hear me? Babies can't even talk yet. And somehow they know when someone's energy feels off. Have you ever noticed that a baby will instantly start crying whenever certain people come around or a certain energy is around? Or what about a child randomly avoiding someone? Or when a child feeling peaceful when they're in certain people's presence? Kids read frequency before language. Before they even understand words, before they understand the feeling. I think adults used to be this connected too, but children haven't fully learned to override themselves yet. Not in the way that adults have. They still trust their instincts and their emotions and the curiosity and presence. They don't walk into a room analyzing status and appearance. And spiritually, that level of presence is powerful because when you're fully present, you become more sensitive to energy. And when I think about childhood, I honestly think about how magical life used to feel. It wasn't perfect, but it felt alive. When we were kids, life felt bigger. We went outside. We rode bikes until the streetlights came on. We explored neighborhoods like tiny adventurers, and we climbed things we had no business climbing. We made entire worlds out of absolutely nothing. And a stick became a sword. A cardboard box became a spaceship. A backyard became a whole nother universe. I don't know what happened because now adults can barely sit in silence without reaching for their phones. Our attention spans are overstimulated, our nervous systems are completely overloaded, and our imagination has been replaced with constant consumption. Scroll, scroll, scroll. We don't explore anymore. We scroll. I think something spiritual got lost in that. Children naturally know how to be in the moment. They know how to be present. whereas adults are constantly pulled out of the moment. One of my favorite movies growing up was Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. And if you've never seen it, it's basically about a magical toy store that comes alive. And everything in the store responds to wonder, imagination, emotion, and belief. But the deeper message behind this movie was that the magic starts fading when people stop believing in wonder. That movie hits completely different as an adult, because I think that's what happens to people spiritually sometimes. Life starts out so colorful and bright and alive and curious and creative. And then adulting comes in and it looks like stress and pressure and survival mode, responsibilities and fear of being judged. And slowly people began to disconnect from their inner child. Not childishness, but that childlike wonder that each of us possesses naturally. And I think a lot of adults are spiritually exhausted because they've abandoned the part of themselves that knew how to imagine, that knew how to play and to create and just trust and just to feel joy naturally. Children still carry that frequency, while adults often bury it. And the sad part is, most people don't even realize when the disconnect started happening. You know, somewhere along the way, we learned, stop being so sensitive, grow up, or that's unrealistic. Stop crying. Life isn't about fun. Be serious. Little by little, people began to disconnect from creativity, from emotional freedom and their intuition and playfulness and just all around softness. We stopped dancing randomly and we stopped imagining and exploring. And spiritually, that suppression affects our frequency, because energy that isn't expressed, it gets stored. It gets stored in our bodies. And that's why so many adults began to feel emotionally numb and disconnected and uninspired and exhausted all the time. I mean, and you know, it's not because we're broken, right? It's not because we're broken. It's because we've been surviving for so long that we just forget how to live. I think healing has less to do with becoming someone new and more to do with a reunion. Healing is returning to the parts of yourself that still remember wonder. The parts of you that laughed freely and created fearlessly and trusted deeply and explored curiously and felt emotions honestly. Your inner child isn't just trauma. It isn't just trauma. Your inner child is also joy and imagination and creativity and presence and that heightened spiritual sensitivity. And that's why children feel energy so naturally, because they haven't fully disconnected from themselves yet. So maybe healing isn't about ascending into some unreachable version of yourself. Maybe it's about returning. Maybe it's about returning to presence and to softness and to authenticity and to your original frequency. So here's the question I want you to think about. When was the last time you truly felt childlike joy? I'll wait. Not distraction, not entertainment, but pure joy. Because maybe your spirit isn't asking you to become more productive. Maybe it's asking you to be more alive again. If this resonated with you, please comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I want you to let me know, what's something you love as a child that make you feel alive? Like, Was it a movie? Was it a favorite game or a toy? Did you like to draw or paint or color or anything like that? I want you to share it down below in the comment section, you guys. And be on the lookout for the next episode where we do a deep dive into the exact time that we learn to suppress ourselves emotionally and spiritually. I love you guys. And remember, stay in your vibe. Bye.
Baby girl, you talking to the realest. Energy and joy, you can't steal it. Good vibes all around. Baby, tell me, can you feel it? I woke up, so I'm blessed. Just another chapter in the test. I know I'm doing better than the rest. Got a smile on my face, showing teeth for the crest.